Hey guys, and welcome to my Guild Wars 2 pros and cons. I'll be your host today. My name is John. I go by Skoobasteve in game. So yeah, let's go ahead and start with this. So first we're going to go over the pros. The first one is visual cues. ArenaNet has crafted such a rich and deep game. It's amazing all the subtle detail that they add in the surroundings, where you can pick up the fact that, a dynamic event is going on just by the ground shaking or a sudden amount of fog around your area. And one of my favorites, for some reason, is going in and out of water. I love the water trickling from the screen and everything as well. They spent so much time on the small things that it just brings the game alive in front of your eyes. Another one is the self-reliance. I'm sure this topic has now been a beaten horse for a while, but with that out of the way, being that your character has all the characters have amazing, crowd control, which is CC, or healing skills to not only keep you alive, but your party as well, makes you feel like you're so much bigger. You have so much more of a part in a group than you would otherwise with the Trinity system. And also the sustain that each character has makes it so that you are now literally self-reliant, and you could deter the fact that you might die. Well, usually. Waypoint transportation. Some can argue that it breaks the immersion and whatnot, but I personally love the fact that you don't have to take 12 minutes to travel to a certain location. Instead, you're able to use the waypoints as a form of transportation, leaving out the need for mounts. Although I did want to ride a chocobo, MOA. Now, the dynamic events, which is another one, the dynamic events make you feel like you're never alone. When the bell tolls, everyone comes running. Seriously though, people literally come out of the wetworks all around me. They jumping out of trees, bushes, or whatnot. It's amazing. You never feel alone, and the majority of the time, the fights are almost always epic. There's so many people around and crowding. So, the last one for the pros is the downstate. Giving you that second breath to get up again and go at it. Honestly, though, it's probably the best feature in the game aside from dynamic events, mainly because, as I'm sure everyone else hates it just as much, running back to your body is a bitch. So now let's go over the cons for Guild Wars 2, because where there's pros, there's cons. So the dynamic events should be made map wide. So for this one, I say is the biggest con. I can't tell you how many times I just ran around looking for dynamic events that are going on around me, and spend the time obviously going the wrong way each one of the times. And by the time I do end up finding one, it's already done or about to be done. Like on the seventh out of eighth wave. So I think dynamic events should be made or should be shown map wide to shave down that time that you're spending running around aimlessly sometimes. Another con for Guild Wars 2 is the lack of feeling like you're progressing. While the first levels, 1 through 20, you are unlocking a lot of skills between the different weapons, especially, let's say, the warrior, because the warrior can hold the most weapons. So you're unlocking quite a bit of weapons. But after you progress, after 20, there's 80 levels in the game. What about all the levels between then, between 20 and 80? Other MMOs such as WoW and Star Wars: The Old Republic, I'm just bringing those out because those are well known. They have that sense of progressing because of the fact that every level, usually, you get a new skill. You get that feeling of being more powerful than the last level, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just curious to see how Guild Wars 2 is going to be able to give that sense of progressing, giving that sense that you're more powerful than the last level, or if they're even wanting to fix that issue. If that's something that they're not really wanting to go for. Now, the next three cons go hand in hand with each other, but the next one is the steep learning curve. I have some friends of mine that tried out the game that are new to MMOs, and let alone Guild Wars 2, and how difficult it was for them to pick it up. Being that you have to actively dodge and actually evade attacks in this game. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that this is bad. I love the fact that you have to be active. But starting off, I did see people that weren't used to the actions like that and had such a hard time with it. And the next one is the lack of direction. I have seen that they did add a new feature to Guild Wars 2, the last beta weekend event, the second one, where they add kind of like the green arrows on the map on the ground to kind of show the path for your main storyline, which I thought was a good approach for the issue. But going around and trying to find, so and so vendor or a bank vault or anything like that was harder than it should have been. And for newcomers, I could see how that could be a bit overwhelming. Now, for the last one, but not least, is the overextending in your level. I'll give you guys a perfect example. I was level 21 and I was in the Kessex Hills, and I went down to the bottom left of the map where there was a heart and a dynamic event that was level 22. Now, I don't think I'm the best player, but I don't think I'm a bad player either. But with that out of the way, I found that the area just pummeled me into the ground non-stop. And I really couldn't do it. Whenever you fought one guy, there was like two or three others, and the one guy alone was already hard, so of course I'd die. So with that being said, I mean, I had to walk back to the 19 and 20 dynamic events with my head hung and wait till one popped around me. So that is my pros and cons list for Guild Wars 2. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please leave your comments down below and tell me if you agree or disagree with my points. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. Please visit clanmilk.com for all your other MOBA game info as well as Guild Wars 2. Thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.